All right, everyone, we are going to officially get started. There might be a couple people joining us as we go. We're expecting maybe 10 more participants or so, but for respect for your time, we are going to get started. Okay. It looks like you all have the hang of using the chat box. So through this session today, please continue to write your questions that you have in the chat box, and we'll try to make sure that we address them. Questions that might not be addressed in today's session for the sake of time, we will make sure that someone does follow up with you on that question. And it might be an instructor that contacts you or myself. All right, so welcome to the Canadian Culture and Communication for Nurses program. It's December 2015 now, but officially you are in the January to March 2016 session. I was thinking about it today, and I think there's no better time to join an online program than winter in Winnipeg and Brandon and Neepawa, winter in Manitoba, right? You never know what's going to happen with the weather here. So driving conditions could be poor, there could be snowstorms, buses are slow, and with online learning, none of that's an issue. So some of it might seem a little bit scary right now, but I think as you go through the program, you're going to find there are truly many benefits to online learning. And not having to do transportation in the winter is definitely one of them. So grab a nice cozy cup of coffee or tea, a nice blanket, and start your online classes that way. Make the most out of it. My name is Manola Barlow. I'm the Program Director for the Canadian Culture and Communication for Nurses program. And I've been in this role for about 8 years now. I love working with internationally educated nurses, and I continue to learn a lot from working with you. So I thank you for that, and I thank you for teaching me about perseverance. I've definitely applied some of those things in my own life. The session today, we're going to focus on program goals, getting to know the CCCN team, blended and online exclusive students, student expectations, getting started online, which is one of the most essential things we're doing today. And you probably have many questions. How do I start? Right? I've never done this before. What do I need to do first? So we want to make sure that at the end of the session today, you understand very clearly what do you have to do first. We want to do that by walking you through the CCCN platform, and we want to talk about webinars as well. Our program goal is to offer quality online and blended programming to internationally educated nurses who need to improve their communication skills in English in order to both enter and integrate in the Canadian healthcare workplace. Okay? That's kind of a mouthful. But basically what we're saying is we want to make sure that we're flexible and we have a variety of ways people can participate in our program. Okay? So entering the workplace, what is needed for internationally educated nurses to enter the nursing workplace? Okay. Does anyone know what the first thing you need to enter the nursing workplace? You can type it in the chat box. NNAS, that's right. And do you know one essential piece to NNAS? English requirement, Raman, that's right. So in order to complete your NNAS, which is the National Nursing Assessment Service application, you need to prove English language proficiency. Right? In order to do that, you either need to have an IELTS test, which many of you have done before, so it's an academic version of IELTS, or you need to complete a CELBAN test. Right? For those of you not familiar with CELBAN, it's the Canadian English Language Benchmark Assessment for Nurses. Right? So that test is designed specifically for nurses, whereas IELTS is a general academic test. Right? So you need to prove language proficiency in order to enter. Right? So many clients that come to us, many IENs that have questions about our services, they say, is this a CELBAN prep course? We get that all the time. Is this where I can go to prepare for my CELBAN? And we say, yes, right? This is partially a CELBAN prep course. But it is not limited to CELBAN prep. Okay? So the integrate piece of our program. So we want people to have the communication skills needed to enter, so that would be for CELBAN or IELTS, but also to integrate into the Canadian healthcare workplace. Right? So the integration piece is the piece of our program that I feel is very important, and it takes you beyond just preparing for an English test, right? So it takes you to preparing for possibly a clinical competency assessment, right? What do you do in that waiting period before you write the NCLEX exam? When you're working as a nurse in Manitoba and you're struggling to write documents, or you're struggling with the culture of the workplace or the scope of nursing, or to communicate assertively with physicians that might have been different from before, what do you do? Okay. So in the program we will cover that. We talk a lot about culture and how culture impacts communication, and specifically nursing culture in the workplace. So again, the program isn't solely for CELBAN prep, but within the program we do have things that of course will help you prepare for your CELBAN. In modules 2 and 3, we have what we call the I-CELBAN. I stands for institutional. So the institutional CELBAN test is based off of the official test, and it is designed to give people a practice experience of the real thing. Okay? You cannot use I-CELBAN for official scores for regulators, but it is a good practice. Many IENs that come in, they're quite familiar with IELTS, but they have absolutely no experience with CELBAN. So this gives you an opportunity to go through that test, like a mock assessment, and get feedback as well to what are your strengths and weaknesses. So for Module 2, we do the group test, which covers listening, writing, and reading. And we also do the speaking part for those that are participating in on-site. Right, so people will get the opportunity to do that at the end of January, the I-CELBAN group test, and we'll be sending out notifications to students how they can register for that. Any questions so far? Okay. If you need me to repeat anything, please type in the chat box, can you say that again? Or what do you mean by, this? So feel free to type that in. Our program we offer, in our core program, we offer 3 modules. So modules 1, 2, and 3, each of those are 12 weeks. And they're designed for different language levels. So we place learners into the program based on their language levels and availability. So for some students, they're able to participate in what we call the blended program. And for some students, they want online exclusive. So they're placed according to their time schedule as well as their learning, their language competencies. I'm just reading, there's some questions here. Is there some questions?
There's questions about if there's a difference between CELBAN and IELTS, and when will they open up more CELBAN tests here?
Oh, okay. So currently I'm not sure when they're opening up more CELBAN. We have been pushing for this for over a year now, that we need more CELBAN tests available. If you go to the CELBAN Center's website and sign up for their newsletter, you're automatically linked to notifications. So they would let you know we've opened more seats in Winnipeg. So I encourage you to sign up for their newsletter so you get the most up-to-date information there. When we hear that stuff, we try to make sure we either put it on our Twitter account or our Facebook page. And we'll type that in for you so you know where to find us on Twitter and Facebook as well. For the CELBAN, official CELBAN, you need to sign up with them. We don't do registrations for that, and same goes for IELTS. Right. If you're not sure where to do that, we'll try to make sure that we get that information to all our students so you know how to sign up for either test. So like I said, there's 3 core modules. So students can go directly into 2, depending on what their language level is, or 3. You don't need to complete these consecutively. Okay. Sometimes we also have students that maybe they completed 3, but they had never completed 1 or 2, and they request to participate in that because they feel they do need more practice. So depending on your needs, that's an option as well. All right, I want to talk a little bit about success. So you see the slide here, and the one arrow is very straight and easy, and one is a big knot. And I think a lot of internationally educated nurses, when they're in this process of nursing licensure, trying to find out information, trying to complete all the steps necessary, all the paperwork, they often feel like they're in that mess of success, right? Where they're not sure which way to go or what to do, and they feel very frustrated and confused, and it's a very trying time. So I don't know if you guys feel that you are in that space right now, or some of you might feel like, I know what I need to do, I know where I have to go, and you might feel like it's a bit of a straighter path, but we just want to, to echo that many people feel this way and that you're definitely not alone, right? Part of the purpose of the program is to also connect you to information, right, that you need to pursue your nursing, right? So what do you need to do, as a first step? So language is a first step. But there are a lot of other pieces, right? So I know I have to get this language test. Should I sign up right now and take it in January? That might not be what we recommend, right? So, we often recommend that learners prove it to themselves that they have the language skills, and then they register for the test, right? Sometimes that's not possible with a long waiting list of the test. But if you, let's say you have a CLB 6 or an IELTS, 5, to take a test right away in January, I'd probably strongly advise against it. And if you can reschedule, I'd definitely recommend that. So in the program, we'll talk a lot about that as well. Okay. So sometimes success looks very differently. And for some people, it seems like it's smooth sailing, and for others, it's a trial. And I think for many IENs, once they arrive in Canada, some of those expectations that they had before they came to Canada are quite different once they arrive, right? So you think, maybe it will take me 6 months to get my licensure, when in reality, the average is 2 years. Right, so it's trying to navigate some of those expectations as well. We will have a separate session on nursing licensure throughout the session, and we'll talk about those dates when we speak to webinars a bit later on. All right, the team. So you don't see the whole team here today, but I'm going to make sure we put those on camera that are here this evening. Okay, so just give me a minute to do that. Hi, Teresita.
Hi. Hi.
I'm just rest of the team. If you want to introduce yourself while I'm finding other people.
Sure. Hi, Can you hear me well? I'm Teresita. I'm Teresita Sharmella. I'm the on-site instructor for Module 3. I will also be teaching online some of my Module 3 students on site. So I am looking forward to meeting each of you. Some of you I may have met in the past in Modules 1 and 2. So I look forward to that as well. Yeah, welcome to tonight. This is kind of my first orientation myself.
Hi, everybody.
Curious.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi, can people hear me? Can I have a thumbs up if you hear me well?
Oh yeah, very loud.
All right. I'm Debbie, and I teach Module 3 to online students, and I'm really looking forward to working with you. Online Module 3 students, please go to the website, and you'll see a video there that I posted to say hello. Nice to meet you guys.
Thanks, Debbie. And I'm trying to see if there's anyone we missed. I don't think so, hey? All right, and Michelle, is Michelle?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. I don't see you, Michelle.
I'm not showing up, but I did give it permission to use my video. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Fine, yeah?
Oh, okay, well, hello everybody, welcome. My name's Michelle, and I'm an online instructor for Module 1. Sorry you can't see my video. Do you see it, Manola?
No, I can't.
A little sign came on asking me to grant permission, and I clicked Allow Audio and Video.
Yeah, and I see that your camera and mic is showing, but it's not showing.
It's weird.
I'm not sure. One thing you guys as in students will find is that with technology, you never know, right? You never know what's going to happen. So sometimes things work exactly as they had before, and then sometimes certain things don't appear anymore, and maybe something needs to be installed that wasn't installed before. So we'll definitely help you through that, but hopefully you can see that even those of us running the program experience some of those things. So it's actually not a big deal. It's easy to overcome, and you have a lot of support as well of different people you can go to ask you to navigate that.
Yeah, my video settings show that they're on and they all look like they're fine.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm just going to go back and turn it off, actually. Okay. All right, so the rest of the team that you don't see here today, Christina Kizik, so you have received probably many emails from her, maybe some phone calls. She's the program administrative assistant. And then in Module 1, Brianna Plett is the on-site instructor. So she'll be here in the CCCN classroom in Winnipeg. Desiree Mercer and Michelle Maya Torres are the online instructors for Module 1. Module 2, Stephen is the on-site instructor for Module 2, and Sheila Stone is the on-site instructor for Module 2 in Brandon. And Elizabeth and Stephen are also the online instructors. For Module 3, as you heard, Debbie and Teresita are online, as well as Lisa Vogt. And Teresita is the teacher who teaches on-site in Winnipeg. Okay. We also have a speech language pathologist that does our accent training. We have RN consultants that we work with, Betty Jean Johnson and Linda Olson. Betty, Jean, and Linda are the main facilitators of our webinars. So they bring in the nursing perspective, but they also have experience teaching English. Okay. So they're excellent resources, and it is them who you communicate with if you have questions related to clinical nursing. Okay. The rest of the instructors here are language instructors, so their background is teaching language, and some have taught English for nursing for over 10 years now. So there's a lot of experienced instructors in our group, and those that have experience teaching English for nursing. Okay. So Betty, Jean, and Linda are RN consultants that focus on the clinical types of questions that might come up through the session. So your instructors will be directing you to the Ask a Nurse section of our website. Technical support is a key element to our program. Guadalupe Camerlinga, you'll hear more from her in a little bit, but she's who provides the technical support. Our learning desire, Briar Jameson. If you want to pop in. No? Okay.
Oh. I don't know how I'm gonna look here.
Yeah, that's all good. That's Briar. So she works behind the scenes, makes sure our webinars are working smoothly and getting us up to speed with different technology we can incorporate into our program. Sylvia Provinsky is our liaison. So that's 17 people. So you have a large, basically that is to say you have a large team of people behind you that want to support you and work with you to accomplish your goals. But I've said this before, we can't want your nursing license, or we can't want your language to improve more than you do. You need to want it more than us. There's sometimes when I feel like, oh, you're so close, and if you just participated, the improvement, you would start to improve. But we understand life is busy as well. But there's a lot of people, again, who want the same thing for you. We want you to be successful as a nurse in Manitoba. We want you to get your licensure, and we want you to improve in your language. So there's a huge team of people behind you. Different types of learners. So they're blended students. They participate in 2.5-hour classes weekly on site. And then there's online exclusive. So online exclusive students participate in the online tasks and optional synchronous classes. So we have weekly Skype classes, and the dates for the Skype classes are in the calendar on the website. So if we have time today, we'll show you the calendar, but basically the start dates for that, I believe module 1 starts on January 7th, and all the rest of the modules, Skype starts on January 8th. So that's the Thursday of the first week in January. So if you're an online exclusive student and you have a goal of improving speaking and listening skills, the way to do that in our program is to participate in our Skype classes and make that a priority. So if you can schedule in the times that work for you, that would be great. But the participation in on-site for online exclusive, again, is not required. Student expectations. So all students, whether you're a blended student participating on-site or online exclusive, are expected to participate and complete weekly online tasks within the online community. Right. We figure it takes about 5 to 8 hours a week to do this. That's in addition to on-site classes for those that are blended. We want you to complete online lessons, assessments, and learning reflections every week, to communicate with classmates and instructors online in discussions. This is one way you build community. Every week, one thing you should be doing is your lessons, of course. Completing assessments, and there are several parts to each assessment. Writing a learning reflection in the reflections section of the website. If you are an online exclusive student, you might attend Skype classes. We call that a synchronous class. And synchronous just means real time. And contribute to discussions on the website, so engaging in that way. Okay. If you cannot attend either on-site or participate online for a week, let's say you have a very chaotic week, your kids are all sick and you just don't get around to doing it, or maybe you have planned a vacation that week, we ask that you would inform your instructors that, you know, during this week you might not be participating because, you know, you're going on a trip to Banff or whatever it might be. So just as your employers would expect that communication, we also expect that communication. So to let us know. And then certificate requirements, those are listed on the website, so we'll speak to that a little bit later. If we do run out of time today, just go to certificate requirements on the main page. All right, so I'm going to hand this over to Guadalupe now to take you through parts of the website and talk about some technical requirements.
Hi, can you hear me? Hi, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Perfect.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Guadalupe Camorlinga, and you will be hearing about me only if you have some technical difficulties with the application, with the site. So let's just start to make sure that we complete all the technology requirements. So really important for the quality of your audio that you use your microphone, not necessarily the one from the computer, so you use some headsets. And one thing that is very important here is that recommend you to use Firefox. Firefox is the browser, as many of you know. It's a free browser that you can download from internet, and we will give you the steps to do that. But this is the browser that we will be supporting you with any questions that you have. So let's just start here, and let's just go with a tour. I can go ahead with my screen.
Yeah.
So please let me know when you. Can anyone tell me to the message here if you can see the site? Brian, can you see
Guadalupe?
Yes.
It's hard for us to type on the board right now to say that, yes, we can see your screen.
But okay, thank you.
There's no place to type.
So, okay. So is this size a good size, Debbie? Okay, so you know.
Interrupt. Sorry about that, Guadalupe. Just wanted to point out to participants that the chat now, you can see that at the bottom. So if you have a question, just select chat at the bottom. It should be at the bottom of the screen. Okay.
And then when they click it, it will open.
So when you click on chat, it will open up.
And it's orange in color. It should be orange.
Yeah.
And just tell them that you had to turn your mic off because of the echo.
Yeah. So I'm just going to turn my mic off now because that's part of why there was an echo before. So I'll be turning
into the site. But before that, I saw a question about don't remember or forgetting your username or password. If you don't remember your username or password, You can retrieve those by clicking this link, and you will receive an email with instructions on what to do to get back to your username and your password. So I'm going to log in here. And once you log in, the first page that you will see is the exact same page as the home page. So you will have the same information here, except that now you have this option here that will show your modules. So for each, you will be only one of these modules, either module 1, module 2, or module 3. So also you will see your dashboard here. The dashboard is an important place for you because that one will show you
Your share screen, then
place throughout the 12-week session. I'm getting a little bit, look at all your hellos. Thank you. I see all your highs with that. The point to be made that the baseline assessment task and the exit task are the same tasks that you do twice. We don't want you to copy them when it comes time to do the last tasks in week 11. We actually just want to see how much better you're doing, because after you've practiced this material, you should be better. It's nice for you to see how you started and how you're ending off the 12 weeks. All right, I see the thumbs up on the chat, Reld, and I just have 11 assessments. So what happens, where do all the other ones come from? Well, basically, when you do a lesson in the program, you will work through the content. And we'll do that, we'll start by setting SMART goals, which you'll learn about in your first lesson. So don't panic about it now. It's all right there for you to do. Once you've gone through that lesson on setting SMART goals, we'd like you to go to Learning Reflections where you see that red arrow. And it will, that's where you can set yourself approximately 3 or 4 goals for this session. There's an example here, a model that you could follow. And I would like to highly recommend that you just go back to this when you have your own time, and you can read over how to create SMART goals. And look at this sample. It's not just, I want to improve my English, period. If you, that we want to know.
Hi everyone, thanks again for participating in the orientation session today. Again, if you're not sure what to do to get started tomorrow, just click on that user guide and the how-to sections, and you might need to read something a couple times to understand it, but just make sure you read all those instructions because they are all there on our site. You can read about webinars as well. If you go to our main page, there's a webinar list of our webinars for January until March, and there's if you click on webinar registration, you can sign up for those webinars if you haven't already seen that and are registered for those. So that's a place that you can do that. Again, if you have any questions, you can email me or Skype me, and I did leave my email address and my Skype name in my welcome video, which is in the discussion board post as well. So you can see that there. And we'll end our session today. So again, looking forward to having you participate in the program and improving your nursing communication skills. Have a good night, everyone.